Let's talk about Albert Einstein and his views on spirituality. Hey guys, it's John here in the studio. It is 48 degrees outside, September 3rd or 4th, I believe it is. Yeah, September 4th. and drinking my mug of coffee, enjoying the warm coffee on the cool morning. Didn't want to go out on the back deck and freeze, so I thought I'd stay in here. Albert Einstein, oftentimes in the videos you'll hear me mention Albert Einstein or I'll quote Albert Einstein. And it often gets brought up about the idea of what was his spiritual beliefs. And people tend to think of him as an atheist because of his scientific approach to things. But when asked directly what his spirituality was, what is his view of God, he said he believed in the God of Spinoza. The God of Spinoza. Now, what is the God of Spinoza? Baruch Spinoza was one of the greatest philosophers of the time back in the 1700s. And he was often referred to as an atheist as well. But he was more of a pantheist. He had a belief that there was a greater intelligence of some kind, but it was manifesting itself as the complete universe. And so that meant the intelligence itself was growing and expanding and becoming more aware and self-aware. The concept of pantheism is literally about the universe itself being God, and which is so interesting to me because I believe we're in the image of God. We're all one with God, and this world that we're living in is a direct product of God. So, both Spinoza and Einstein are very much in alignment with my own personal beliefs in that regard. The other thing is that when you look at Einstein in general, and you start looking at his quotes, and he had one that said, "The imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions." In other words, what you think, or what you imagine into your experience becomes your experience. And so, he's tying into the idea that you're, as part of this oneness with God, part of this universal God, your thoughts are being reflected within the experience around you. He said, the most important decision you'll ever make is whether you live in a friendly or an unfriendly universe. When you look at it from that perspective, or do you, positive people see a positive world, negative people see a negative world, because that's what they're creating within the God of Spinoza, is this direct reflection of their imagination. Well, their imagination focused negatively shows them a negative world, and their imagination focused positively shows them a positive world. Einstein was taking his science, and through his science, looking at the smallest particles, the atoms, the electrons, the neutrons, all the stuff, right? He said it's too organized for not to be a consciousness involved in its creation. It's too organized. So, though he is often referred to as an atheist, he was much more of a non-duality believer than most people give him credit for. He believed that our thoughts were creating things into our experience because our thoughts were part of our imagination. He believed that your choice of focusing your thoughts positively gives you a positive outcome. As he said, the most important decision you'll make is whether you live in a friendly or unfriendly universe. Well, if you believe you're in a friendly universe, his assertion is that you will live in a friendly universe. His idea of being involved in the creation of your life with this energy of the universe, which is the God of Spinoza, is very much in alignment with many other teachings. The only thing that it really took out of the equation were the doctrines and the ceremonies and the dogmas, and he just put it down to, we are all one with this universe. This universe is God, and there's a higher consciousness within that God that organizes. And so when you look at his writings and his teachings, you find beautiful spiritual commentary in there, but it's a matter of you being open to seeing it. The people who see him only as an atheist see him only as an atheist because they have chosen to only see him as an atheist. But when you dive into what he actually said, you find that he was a very spiritual person, but he was not a religious person, and neither was Spinoza. Spinoza himself was deemed heretical in many cases because he was not teaching the teachings of the church. He was teaching what became later known as pantheism, but he was speaking about non-duality, and he was speaking about this universe that is a greater consciousness. And so when Einstein said he believed in the God of Spinoza, I think he was backing that up with what he was discovering in his science. And when you can back it up with what you can find in your science, and you can find the empirical evidence of a God of Spinoza, and then you start to make assertions that your thoughts are creating your experience, and with choosing to believe you live in a positive world rather than a negative world gives you that experience, then you find that Albert Einstein was a hugely spiritual person. But he was just backing it up with science. And that's my thought on that. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.